Hello, every two bodies. Alrighty, well, today we're going to talk about, as you may have guessed, if you had read the intro, whatever, how to use the current GAC to prepare for the upcoming format changes with the new teams required for all of the, not all, but most of the upper level formats. And then GP ranges changing. I think everybody's familiar with those. So how can we make the most use of our current changes or the current GAC to prepare for those changes? And then some sort of my personal theory crafting on that. Uh, Anytime anybody has any question, let me know. Just post in chat. I'll be happy to answer them. In the meantime, I'm going to do a monologue. So, talking about the current GAC and the best way to utilize this. Obviously, it's a little bit different if your focus is just get to Kyber for the rewards or for personal achievement, or you haven't been to Kyber before or something like that, or Rhodium or whatever tier you're aiming for. But assuming that you're comfortable getting to whatever tier it is that you're aiming for, what are some things you can do, or what are some things that I'm doing? Yeah, Newton GG. What are some things, hey free, that I'm going to be doing to make the most use out of this season? I'll just say for myself, I'm not worried about getting to Kyber. I've been getting Kyber all the time since GAC started, minus a couple of seasons where I went for like Chromium or whatever titles. I still don't have Carbonite though. Anyway, one of these days. So in essence, the most important thing to keep in mind for the new format changes, and I'm sure there'll be hey Wookie. You might have been first. Actually, Sky Guy was here. I don't even know when the timestamp was. A long time ago. I think like an hour ago. But I don't know if he's here now. Anyway, the most important thing is in the new format, while defense is going to be important, obviously it's always important to set a creative, difficult defense. The whole meta is going to change in GAC. It's going to shift from I don't know how to describe this, best possible compared to best with what you have. So for instance, it's very unlikely you would put Ray, Galactic Legend Ray, with Jedi Training Ray on defense now. You may still put in the Resistance Bros or something like that, but if you do put a GL on like Ray on defense, you're most likely to put in with a lot of tanks or something like that. Something that's still going to require a strong offense, but unlikely that it's going to be the best possible team comp like you would put in Territory Wars or currently in GAC. So offense is even more important. Not just banners, but one-shotting. Think of it as the way we did 3v3s, or the way we do 3v3s now, where the banner difference is a little different with 5v5 because you have a higher banner differential, or range rather. You know, it could be 64 if you solo, all the way down to 46 theoretically. But the most important thing you can do in this upcoming season, in my opinion, is to maximize your offensive practice. So put some good teams on defense. Obviously, I don't want to say put trash on defense, but think more about the teams you're going to be using on offense after the format changes. So personally, from my perspective, I'm going to use more of the B teams, I guess, where like Mon Mothma, it's a good defensive team as well, depending on which characters you have. Troopers, bounty hunters, and again, maybe these aren't technically B teams, but Phoenix, if I can. I have Relic Phoenix. I like my Phoenix. Anyway, regardless of your current Relic levels, I would suggest putting on a medium defense. Keep your GLs for offense so you can full clear and give yourself the best chance to win each round. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say a stronger defense. I would say a defense that is more likely to give you a win. But keep your GLs and your B teams for offense. So GLs and B teams for offense. By that I mean, like, for practicing, I think everybody knows how to play the CLS, for instance. So throw that team on defense. There's nothing really tricky or clever in using that team. Like, you can beat almost anything, even some GLs with a little tricky, you know, like the SLKR Night Sister setup. You can beat with CLS in some situations. You can beat some Jedi Master Luke. But if you keep your own GLs, you'll not guarantee, you have a very, very high chance of beating any GLs you go up against. And if you don't have GLs, keep your like top 1, 2, maybe 3 teams and your lower teams. Basically, work on your offense. And most of the mid-level teams, Padme, Darth Revan, CLS, GG Newt, etc. Hey Leah. Bonjour, ça va? Je pense tu es français, non? My grammar is terrible. Oh, cool, okay. Anyway, I think that the most effective way to practice is to work on those like non-main teams that that you maybe don't use as often, because I think for many people they'll put, let's say you have, I'll just use myself as an example. I know everybody's different, but I have all 4 GLs. So in a normal 5v5, I would put 1 at least GL, maybe 2, maybe even 3, depending on my opponent. But then I'm left with a lot more, given that we only need 7 teams now, I'm left with a lot more non-GL A teams. But I don't really care about trying my CLS or my GAS team. I know how those function. I know how Padme works, I know how GG works. But I need a lot more practice with my Beskar Mando team, for instance. I need more practice with Bounty Hunters. Maybe Django Lead, maybe Aura Lead. Well, I know how to use Aura Lead, I use that a lot. But conceptually, work on the offensive teams that you aren't as comfortable with, but still give yourself a chance to win by keeping your GLs for offense, so that you will have a full clear more or less assured. And the downside, I guess, if your opponent does the exact same thing, then you have a bit of a problem, because you have to sort of use your, well, not a problem, you have to race or go for the highest possible banner count, which is not easy for some people. But I think really in the new format, having a strong offense is going to be being good at offense, not necessarily a strong offense, although both are important, but being familiar with the teams that you don't use as often. And yeah, looking at the counters tool can give you a lot of different options. You can search by offense instead of defense, you know, with the with a little toggle here. Search, I don't know, Aura or something. Don't have that many. Oh, that's decent. 5 different Aura teams. Geo's, Beskar Mando, Padme, and Mothma. Yeah, you certainly have some choices here. But really, I think this would be the best way for you to prepare. Now, you may be asking yourself, I'm going to go into my personal sort of theory crafting, blah, 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 a little bit here. I'll use myself as an example to decide how I want to split my teams on offense and defense. So I just said a minute ago that I'm keeping all of my GLs. I think I put Rey on defense. But what I'm going to look for now is, what are the teams that I can set on defense that will strip the most banners? I'm talking about this format currently, where we only have 7 teams and fleets on defense. I don't really care so much about preventing, or I definitely don't care about preventing a hold. I'm going for the most points possible. Actually, let me back up a little bit here. What are the different goals for most people? This is my personal opinion. I think you sort of go through a life cycle of GAC goals. And this is a little bit covered in like the GAC for beginners. Personally, I think let's take away the very, very entry level where you're just trying to figure shit out. So put that aside. Let's say you know a little bit about GAC, how it works, the formats. You have some time to spend on it. I think the first goal that most people have is try and win each match as well as possible. This doesn't mean you're going to go, oh, the road ahead dropped. You know what? If I was going to do an analysis of this on stream, I would be reading for 15 minutes and thinking before I said anything. I'm a very contemplative person. Let's go look anyway. Let me finish my little blah, 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 and then maybe I'll go do a little road ahead. Thanks, Bree. Anyway, so try and win each match. This is the different GAC goals for most people. So you start out trying to win each match. Obviously, that's the goal that most people have. And I think many people stay here. Like, they don't really care what rank they get. Obviously, they care, but they're not trying for like top 10 Kyber or top 100 Kyber or Kyber even. But they're just trying to win each match. Then, once you get past that stage and you realize, okay, I know how to win against most people. You know what teams are good, what teams are bad. You know where I want to take my roster, blah, blah, blah. Then, try and hit Kyber every season. I think that for a lot of people, that's a great goal. And, you know, there's probably a few thousand players who regularly hit Kyber, more than a few thousand. Definitely more than a few thousand. Maybe 10,000 players hit Kyber every season. Quite a bit. Who was it? I think That's No Moon did a pretty good summary of how many people hit Kyber in Div 1 and Div 2. Go check that out again. So, that's what some people do. I think a lot of people are in that, trying to hit Kyber every season. It's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. And honestly, a lot goes into the matchmaking and the roster development you do. More so than just being really good mechanically or knowing game dynamics. And then they have like some sort of, I don't know, top tier goal. Top 10, top 100, personal best, whatever the case may be. So, personally, I've gotten a few undefeated seasons. I've gotten the top 100 a couple times. I may actually be able to get into the top 10 after the divisional changes, because the 5 million, 6 million guys in 5v5 at least have a huge advantage over me. Anyway, so personally, my goal currently in every round of GAC is to, and I'm saying this because it ties into the teams that I'm going to talk about for how I think the best way to make use of this season are. I want to win every single battle on the first shot. That's my goal. That's the hard goal. You have game crashes, you have new teams, new meta, blah, blah, blah. I haven't gotten that so far. 3v3s I usually do pretty well, and I'll drop like 3 or 4 battles. Let's say 5 to 10 battles in 3v3s. But this is my personal goal. So how does that relate to up above? What is, well, I'll put it down below in theory crafting. So What does that mean for a good defense for this season? And let me show you how I got to this stage. So my GP is pretty high. I'm in Div 1. So I have most of the characters. I don't wail on new characters, but I have a lot of characters. So let's go through the teams that I'm going to set. I'm going to set General Grievous. Well, wrong season. Let's go to the 5v5 season. I'm going to set General Grievous. I'm going to send him with a B1, B2, Magna, and Newt. Okay. So the way that I approach this for this sort of team is what teams will get me the most banners taken off. So I'm not expecting people to get a hold. I'm not expecting my teams to get a hold unless somebody just gets unlucky, or I just totally out roster somebody, or they make a bad, like they put all their GLs on defense, for instance. That's great for me, but bad for them against my defense. So let's toggle this off, and let's sort by scene. What are the most common ones? So we have General Skywalker, gonna win all the time, 53 banners. Bastila Jedi for 57 banners. Night Sisters for 54 banners. Okay, SLK solo, no problem. I'll take a GL anytime. Padme 53. You can see why this is probably the best non-GL defensive team in GAC right now, or even not in Territory Wars as much, but in GAC. 55-ish banners. So I am 100% setting this team. If you look by average banners, the only high banner teams are GLs. Anything over 60, GL, GL, GL. Okay, once Darth Revan and Malak did it. That's probably not equally relic. Here's another GL. Yeah, I'll take GLs any day. A GL versus a GG team to get more than 60 banners. Awesome. Okay, so that's one team. Let's go back again. What's another team I'll set? I'm going to set a Kylo Ren Unmasked. Let's go to the correct season. And I'm going to set Kylo Ren and Stormtrooper and Sith Trooper and Hux. Yep, I keep my Supreme Leader Kylo. I can use Phasma and the 2 First Order pilots if I want, but he's almost certainly, he doesn't need any of the other First Order supporting guys to kill basically another team, even Rey teams. You don't need it. You can put any tank. You can put a Sith Empire Trooper or something in here. Oh, a little bit busy. So I'm going to go by sort by scene again. So for instance here, GG, either GL or mid-50s banners. Perfect. And you'll notice actually the most seen counters for the GG team, the one that I use to kill him for about 55, 60 banners isn't there, and most people don't know how to use it. The Beskar Mando is in my opinion, the best counter for GG Newt. Besides the SLK solo, but that can be iffy depending on the relic levels and GG speeds. So let's take a look here. CLS against this team doesn't even win 100% of the time. 58 banners. Okay, that means their CLS is going to be on offense. Probably not going to be on offense, or probably not going to be on offense. So they're stuck here with something that's most likely not going to work. General Skywalker, 55 banners against this team. That would not be bad. Just even a bit more banners than against GG, but not great. This one, Geos, it's a pretty good counter. Depends on relic levels a bit, but I would say Geos and First Order. First Order are probably usually a bit higher relic levels than Geos in general across most people. At least once they have Kylo. But 4 out of 5 times they'll win. Padme, 55 banners. DR, 55 banners. All of the popular teams, 23 times. Even the less popular teams are mid-50s banners. Awesome. I'll take that all day. So that's one of my teams. Let's see. What's another one? Padme. Easier this way. So I'm going to use Padme. I sort of screwed up, actually. I meant to keep Ahsoka for the feet. Anyway, and then I use Barriss. And look by scene. Okay, so CLS, this was also a good team against the KRU team. Otherwise, mid-50s again. So Padme Barriss. She has 2 S's, doesn't she? Yeah, what a traitor. Anyway, so here we have Padme Barriss. CLS is a good option, but again, CLS is not going to be on defense then. Awesome. GAS is not a good option. Of course, a GL is a good option. And most people do it with Sith Eternal Emperor. Fine, I'm happy with that. Take a GL away. JKR does it pretty well for 59 banners, but doesn't win all the time. Still fails 1 out of 5 times. That's fair for a high banner win. Emperor Palpatine is a good choice for 58, and Traya is a good choice for 57. Okay, basically going to pull probably JKR, or maybe EP. Really depends. Either one of those, Padme is going to pull. So maybe EP Vader. Okay. Let's see, what other teams could I put on defense that are going to pull some banners? Darth Revan. Right, he's always going to do a good one. Let's do the full Darth Revan team. And again, I'm just sorting by scene. GAS, how many teams can he be used on? The Django team that a lot of people try and use does not have a good success rate. So happily, I'll take that. Mirror, not great. My speed is not great on my DR team, but Malak is faster than DR. So yeah, send a GL. 4 out of 5 times will win. This Thrawn Vader counter with Watt. Yeah, take a Watt, no problem. Anyway, this is a cool one here, the Tarkin lead. Still not a great success. You can see there's, let's look by banners again. Yeah, GL is obviously on the top. JKO with a GL, seen once. Either you GL it or you're going to get non-great banners. You see GAS needs to be used for a lot of these teams to have a good chance of success. Only do that once. What's another good team to put on defense? There's some nice Jedi Training Rey teams. Yeah, this is a very common one. And very good one too. Poe, Finn, BB-8, R2. And let's look by scene. And here we have CLS. Perfect counter for CLS, but only 57 banners still. Crazy. GAS. How many teams can GAS be used on? DR for less than 50 banners? Nice. Fear actually doesn't do much. Troopers will eat this all day, every day. So this is an important thing to note, especially at my GP level. Everybody has troopers, and troopers are guaranteed to get 60, not guaranteed, but almost guaranteed to get 60 points against one of my teams. Night Sisters, yeah, you can still do it with this, but not a good win rate. With Resistance Hero Finn in there, he gives a lot of healing. And when characters are stunned, they get 40% health and protection, I think, if they don't get to take their turn. So, not a great choice. Even JKR gets 58 banners. I'm not updating this here. You guys get the point, basically, what I'm looking for. What are some other good teams that you could put? General Skywalker is a great team. And if you see here, we have GG Newt, KRU, Padme, DR, that's 5. With JTR, that's 6. JTR, whatever, GAS or CLS or shit banners. I don't know if I can swear on YouTube. Anyway, what are the teams that General Skywalker goes up against? Or go up against him? I'm only going to be on for like Padme. I looked at Padme before. Oh, you mean what will General Skywalker be countered by? I don't think I put my General Skywalker. In fact, I know I didn't put my General Skywalker on defense. So a mirror, sure. CLS, 53 points. Mostly, oh, look at these. So many people take Supreme Leader Kylo against him. That's insane. Good win rate, but horrible banners. Wow. Obviously, C is the best option here. Padme is used, but shit banners and really not good win rate. 75, I guess, is not bad, but not great. Yeah, GAC is a great defensive team. But obviously, then you have a problem if you saw earlier all the teams that GAC is used against on offense. And GAC by himself is a great Jedi to use in a Bastilla-led team. Man, that's awesome. Depending on your Jedi, Bastilla-led Jedi is awesome for points in 5v5 and 3v3. So let's look. Let's say you did want to put one GL on defense, and let's say you just wanted to take off banners. SLK is not a great choice because you have the JKR teams to use against him. C is not a great choice. There's like 3 or 4 options. JML is a terrible choice. Ray is probably the best choice. Let's look at the Ray Jawa thing. I think this is one of the best teams for stripping banners. Take that off. L3 is good. Let's put Zal instead. So what do people use against this? Okay, SEE is going to guarantee that you'll take it out for high banners. But if you notice, over here, if you put GAC on defense, as well as this team, you only have one SEE. What are you going to do banner-wise? Not that much. 54 banners with the Luke Nukem team, I think it's called. And then, of course, you can send in GLs, but what, JML? Not a very common team with Zalbar. Let's see with L3 instead. Okay, so again, good SLK, shit banners, GAC, decent chance of success, but shit banners. Luke Nukem is again good banners, and then JML, not great banners. Hilariously, you can do better with JKR than you can with Jedi Master Luke, banner-wise. I mean, success rate's still the same. Anyway, this is about all I wanted to go over here. Any questions before I call off this 30-minute stream? You know, I'm going to keep streaming, although I'll cut it from the replay later on. And I'll go over the road ahead for anybody who wants to stick around as I stare at the screen. It's not going to be a very interesting stream, but I'll be happy to talk about it or answer questions. I'm sure there's plenty of other streamers doing the same thing. Probably Fatal is the main one, I guess. He does most of these live. Or any other questions in general. All right, well, to summarize exactly what we're talking about here, I think for this season, practice your offense. Keep your GLs so you can kill the difficult teams on the opponent's side and still full clear and get a good chance at a win. But practice your B teams, the Bounty Hunters, the Troopers, the Night Sisters, the Mon Mothma, the Geos, the Phoenix. I don't know. There's obviously a limit. I'm not going to read the whole thing free, but I'll summarize. There's obviously a limit on what you can practice with B teams, but depending on what your opponent sets, you can still do a lot and get more familiar with them at least, because that's going to be the biggest challenge in the new format. So thank you all very much for watching. I'm going to cut the video here and now go into the road ahead. All right. Oh man, the chroma key. Hopefully soon I can stop using this green screen. Anyway, hello, Holotable.